Okay, so we're about to go for our first drive. The car still has old fuel in it, so we can't really test its power, if you like. I've put you on the windscreen so that you can get the driver's view. Next time I think I'll find a space somewhere in the back, maybe so you can get the passenger's view and you can see the instruments and so on. But just for today, for the first drive, if you like, on video, I'll just put you up there on the windscreen. For the next drive, when all this old fuel is finally used up, I'll put you here somewhere in the back, and then we can have a few pulls, see how the turbo works. You can actually get a pretty good idea of how the old school turbo cars, I'll close the window, too much wind noise, how the old school turbo cars worked. Although this one is not too bad, it doesn't have too much lag, turbo lag. Like I said, the turbo here is not as big as the turbo in the 900 Classic. The 900 Classic had two style of turbos, the Garrett T3 and a Mitsubishi TD04, and they both would start to engage at about 3,500 RPM, 3,000 RPM, 3,250, something like that. This is a little smaller turbo, and it starts to engage about 2,500 RPM. So it has immediate torque, if you like. This way it's much nicer for everyday driving, if you like my opinion. If you know, I love the old school 900 Classic turbos because once it spooled up, once it started pushing, it was this hand of God coming from behind you and pushing you forward. I mean, you really felt it. It was a whoosh feeling experience. And that what gives you the smile on your face, you know, it's just, oh my God. We'll go out on the freeway here. The weather is we're coming into winter now here in Australia. This is the last week of May. So it's been quite a few rainy days. So I didn't really take out the car that much. I don't really want her to drive in the rain anymore, as funny as it sounds. So here we are on the freeway. Still on this old fuel. I can feel it, that the car doesn't have all the beans that it should. Even though I've added 98, only 10 liters of 98, and the fuel that was in there, that is in there, it's you know, the car's been regularly started and all that, and I've been adding 5 liters here and 5 liters there, but it does have older fuel in it, so it's not a good idea to push it too hard. Not at this time. Let it burn off all this old junk. Then I might put in fuel injector cleaner through to run through the system. Although it has brand new fuel injectors, brand new fuel filter. When the fuel sits for too long, it turns into this, what should we call it, varnish, if you like. So and it loses its octane levels. So if it was originally 91 octane, it sits for a few months, it would drop down to 88, even less. Those of you watching in America, our lowest octane level here in Australia is 91. The car normally runs on 98. So and for a turbo cars, the higher the octane, the better, as many of you no doubt know. So this is just the back roads here in north of Adelaide, about 15 kilometers north of Adelaide, where we are right now. I've also readjusted the automatic gearbox. It's adjustable, by the way, so you can have, even though it's old hydraulic ZF, you can have the gears engage earlier or later, and if you want them to engage later, the gearbox becomes quite clunky. The earlier it engages, the gearbox, you know, starts to feel like it's slipping, but it's not. It's just the way it works. The old ZF gearbox is quite good. Of course, it's not the best for serious turbo motors. It's not the best for a lot of PSI. I don't know what this car is actually pushing, but it goes well into the red, and that would be, I think factory is 12 PSI, so we're probably looking at about 14, 16. And I have to be careful anymore, and the gearbox will start to get damaged. It's old. So, like someone pointed out recently on my on the YouTube, my first YouTube video of this car, just walk around, the B23L motors, the B23, the Saab 2.3 liter, is very well matched with a automatic gearbox. In fact, all turbo cars are quite well matched with automatic gearboxes, because the automatic gearbox will shift gears a lot quicker than you can manually. But the manual, of course, has the advantage that you can pull a lot longer. and you can rev up the engine for a far more quicker start. So you can, you can rev it up to 3,000-4,000 RPM, dump your clutch and rev it to 6 grand, and off you go. That's a spaceship for you. So I've been mucking around a little bit with the gearbox. It's a little bit, it changes gears now a little sooner. It's not as clunky as it was. Although I prefer it that it changes later and the changes are more crisp. If it changes earlier, the changes are softer. It slides just a little bit. But that's how it was set up factory. So we're back more or less to the factory setting now on the gearbox. You can probably hear when the car pulls up, the turbo kicks in. Of course it does. It has the reciprocal blow-off valve, so you don't hear the turbo whoosh when it comes off gear, and it dumps the excessive pressure from the manifold. That's illegal here in Australia. I don't know what it's like where you are, but that's become illegal here now. Pretty much everything's become illegal in our country, Australia. The car is, if you put sports suspension, it's illegal. You put a sports steering wheel, it's illegal. Sports exhaust, too much noise, illegal. Blow-off valve, well, you're damaging the environment apparently, illegal. Pod filter, well, unless it's some, in a way, secured that they deem it to be well enough secured, it's illegal. So the authorities have taken away all the fun from driving. I remember when I was in my teens, late teens, I built a 3-liter high compression motor with 3 SUs on the side. A Tirana SU, if any of you know, 4-speed. And it was lowered, it had mags, it had extractors and 3-inch exhaust just with the muffler at the back. Never got into trouble. Now you get into trouble for anything. So it's got to be you got to be careful. So anyway, this will be it for today. I know it's probably boring just driving around streets, not much to see. But I'm just trying not to burn off all this fuel. Might do another video soon. We'll go to the petrol station. You can hear the power steering complaining a little. I've already drained it once, refilled with fresh fluid. We'll have to do it again. This time might add the additive to thicken the fluid a little. It's a little too thin, and when it warms up it thins even more, and the old seals in there are all hardened now and so on. So the power steering complains a little. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.